What is up, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to today's football preview video. It's all happening this weekend in Italy's Serie A. So please stick around as I cover the match that is kicking off this Saturday on the 1st of March that sees Napoli host Inter Milan at the Estadio Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples. We start off the video obviously with the home side here being Napoli. The last 5 fixtures for Napoli have ended in 1 win, 3 draws, and then 1 loss. Napoli's last match was a disappointing 2-1 loss away at Como earlier this week. And in their last 5 matches, Antonio Conte's team have scored 7 goals, but they've also conceded 7 goals. The first player I have to talk about for Napoli is a player who I think has contributed a lot to those goals. Belgian centre forward Romelu Lukaku has 9 goals and 8 assists in 26 appearances. Lukaku for me operates as a pure target man. He's fast, powerful, direct and lethal. He's everything you need in a player who's leading the line. Creating some of the chances behind Lukaku, I'm expecting to see Scottish central midfielder Scott McTominay. In 25 appearances, McTominay has 7 goals and 4 assists, and for me, McTominay is the engine room at Napoli. He's a box-to-box midfielder with tons of stamina, great aggression, he can pass, he can tackle, but most importantly, Scott McTominay has proven that he can score. Keeping things solid at the back, I'm expecting to see a lot of Italian right back Giovanni Di Lorenzo. In 28 appearances, Di Lorenzo has 3 goals and 2 assists. But for me, when I look at Di Lorenzo, I see the defensive leader at Napoli. A player who inspires everybody else, who remains composed when he's under tons of pressure, but he's proven also to have a lot of experience at the highest level of football. Di Lorenzo is the kind of wing back who can play both offensively and defensively for his team. Tactically for Napoli, coach Antonio Conte likes to have his team play on the counter-attack. Napoli have a lot of hard-working players, and over the last few weeks we have seen Conte experiment with different formations. But I think the best formation for Napoli is still their classic 4-3-3 formation. This new look Napoli team is still operating with a physical centre forward to just hold the ball up front, while the wide players like Spinazzola, Okafor and Politano look to stretch the play out wide. Centrally, tough players with a lot of stamina like Lobotka, Anguissa, these players will partner with McTominay in those central areas to just provide a bit of both defensive stability for this team and offensive grit. Okay, on to the away team. Now, for Inter Milan, the last 5 fixtures have ended in 3 wins and 2 losses. Inter's last match was a 2-0 win at home against Lazio. And in their last 5 fixtures, Simone Inzaghi's team have scored 5 goals, but they too have conceded 5 goals. The first player I have to talk about for Inter is a player who I think displays phenomenal work rate up front. French centre forward Marcus Thuram has 14 goals and 4 assists in 33 appearances. For me, Marcus Thuram is a real workhorse in the front line for Inter. He's a player who's got loads of pace, loads of stamina, but he's also proven to have great chemistry with pretty much every player at Inter. Speaking of chemistry, the next player I'd like to talk about for Inter is a player who I think will be pulling strings in midfield. Turkish defensive midfielder Hakan Çalhanoğlu has 7 goals and 3 assists in 27 appearances this season. For me, Çalhanoğlu is a real box-to-box midfielder. He's got great passing range and accuracy, but he can also operate as a playmaker in your midfield. Çalhanoğlu is also very well known for being a player who can win the ball back efficiently, and knowing that he's got that great passing ability means as soon as he wins it back, he can just cycle it forward and create chances for everybody else. Looking to shut the opposition out at the back, I want to talk about Italian left back Federico Di Marco. In 33 appearances, Di Marco has 3 goals and 7 assists, and for me, Di Marco is an added dimension to Inter's attacking threat from that left-back role. He's a player who's got a lot of pace, he's got great vision and creativity, so he's always looking for players to just cross the ball to and use those diagonals to just slice the opposition wide open. Tactically at Inter Milan, coach Simone Inzaghi will probably want his team to play on the counter-attack. Inter have tons of pace everywhere, and as a result, we've often seen them line up in a 3-5-2 formation. This team's flexibility to be able to play a possession style when you allow them to have the ball is a large part of why I think Inter have been so successful this season. It gives them an air of unpredictability. Inter's midfield has so much creativity. Players like Calhanoglu, Mkhitaryan, Barella, Fratesi, Aslani, and Zielinski can just create chances from pretty much absolutely nothing. The defense just looks to stay solid centrally, while the wingbacks in Di Marco on the left and Dumfries on the right provide width, constantly looking for that dynamic duo of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram up front, looking to them to just break the line and catch the opposition off guard. Okay, on to the head-to-head and the S3M2 verdict. Now, the last 5 fixtures between Inter Milan and Napoli have ended in 2 wins for Inter, 1 win for Napoli, and then 2 draws between the two sides. So it does look very evenly matched here, with Inter edging things out ever so slightly. If we look at the goal output in those last 5 fixtures, Inter have scored 7 goals, while Napoli have hit the back of the net 5 times. So there too, it does look like Inter have the ever so slight advantage. Looking at the Serie A table and the Scudetto race right now, Inter lead the table first on 57 points, while Napoli are keeping the pressure on the visitors, second spot with 56 points. So knowing that just a single point separates these two teams gives this team a kind of cup final atmosphere. Knowing that Napoli have scored in their last 5 means this team is coping well without the creative influence of players like Victor Osimhen and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. But they've also conceded in the last 5, which means this team is still looking very fragile at the back. 3 consecutive draws have really damaged Napoli's title ambitions, but I think this team is still thinking that they have what it takes to go out there and lift the Serie A title at the end of the season. The injury to Anguissa in the midfield really hurts this team. It means they no longer have an extra player in the midfield who just do an extra bit of running, chase the ball down, do a bit of running on the ball, dribbling through players, and perhaps giving this team a bit of an offensive extra threat as well. Inter, in their own right, do have some defensive issues of their own. They're without goalkeeper Jan Sommer, left back Carlos Augusto, and right back Matteo Darmian. But thankfully, I do think Inter do have enough depth in defense to be able to compensate for those losses. I think we will see a lot of 1v1 matchups all over the pitch. Particularly, I'm very excited to see how Inter's midfield deal with a player like Scott McTominay, who can play both a defensive role and an offensive role. Will we perhaps see a player like Hakan Calhanoglu then instructed to just mark McTominay and give him a bit of extra attention in this match? I think another clash that will be very interesting to watch will be that one between Di Marco and Di Lorenzo. Both play on the same wing. I think obviously Di Marco is going to be looking to get up front as often as he can. He's just a very offensive kind of player. And I think it'll give Di Lorenzo then the opportunity to just get behind Di Marco when Napoli are looking to counter. But it does also mean that Di Lorenzo will find himself pinned back in his own half a lot of the time, just looking to sort of control Di Marco out on that wing and just ensure that he doesn't really get too much influence going on the game. Inter do tend to play very well at the Maradona Stadium. They don't really lose out very much. The last 2 draws between these two teams were at Napoli's home stadium, and it does show that Inter can go there and get a result if they need to. Both teams have been scoring quite well, but both teams are also conceding, and I think that shows that while these teams pose a massive threat to one another, they also acknowledge the threat that is posed to them. A draw is not enough for either one of these teams, with both Atalanta and Juventus still very much in the Scudetto title race. Both teams obviously will want to solidify themselves at the top of the league and just get a bit of distance between themselves and everybody else. For Inter, I think they're also pressured knowing that they're still in the hunt for a European treble, finding themselves now in top spot in the Serie A, still in the Coppa Italia, being the only Italian side left in the Champions League. It means there's a lot of pressure on this team to perform and to get good results. I think while a draw doesn't favor anybody, it is the most likely outcome here. Both teams come into this one a little wounded right now, looking to pick themselves up. Napoli obviously are feeling the pressure, playing at home, wanting to wrestle top spot back from Inter. But I think the Nerazzurri have enough right now to be able to go to the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium and get a result. My score prediction for this one is going to be Napoli 1, Inter Milan 1. I think both teams have proven that they can score against one another. Inter having scored in all 5 of their last matches against Napoli, showing that they know how to get goals against this team. But I think it's just not enough. I think we will see both teams going out there and giving it their all. But of course, Napoli will be looking to take advantage of Inter still having to perform in the Champions League later on next week. And I think that's the deciding factor here.
Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.